When I was 67, I bent down one day to tie my slippers, and I couldn't get back up. My knees trembled, my thighs felt like jelly, and my breath came short. It was just a small moment, but it shook me deeply. I had always been active, walking to the morning market, tending to my garden in the back of our little house in Kyoto. But that day, I realized something in me was fading. It wasn't pain. It was weakness. My muscles were vanishing, quietly, like steam from a hot bowl of miso soup. So I turned to the only wisdom I knew, the way my grandparents ate. Simple, humble, rooted in the seasons, and rich in quiet strength. No eggs, no protein powders, just the kind of food you find in a neighborhood market. And slowly, I rebuilt myself. That's what I want to share with you today. 7 simple, affordable Japanese foods that can help you rebuild muscle after 60, 70, even 80. These foods helped me regain strength, and they just might help you too. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from, and what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Muscle loss. After 60, the silent thief. I didn't know the word for it back then, sarcopenia, but I certainly felt it. It begins so quietly. You don't even notice at first. You reach for something on a high shelf and feel a strange unsteadiness. You wake up in the morning, and getting out of bed takes just a little more effort. Then one day, you miss a step, stumble slightly, and you start to wonder, is this just age, or am I truly getting weaker? In Japan, we have a saying, aging begins in the legs. And it's true. After 60, our muscles don't just shrink. They disappear if we don't actively protect them. This loss isn't just about looking frail. It affects balance, digestion, sleep, even how well you heal after a fall. Science has a name for this, sarcopenia. It simply means your muscles are fading. Every decade after 30, you can lose up to 5% to 8% of your muscle mass. And once you pass 60, the rate speeds up, unless you do something about it. In my case, it wasn't just about getting back up off the floor. It was about feeling like myself again. About walking to the garden without panting. About climbing a few steps without grabbing the railing. What made me most nervous, though, was the quiet damage. You see, muscles are like your body's battery. When they shrink, your energy drops. You feel tired faster. Your joints hurt more because your muscles aren't supporting them well. You sleep worse. You begin to avoid walks. And slowly, you live in a smaller and smaller circle. I've seen many friends go through that. Good people, kind people. But they didn't know what to eat. They didn't know what muscles needed, especially after 60. That's why food matters so much. Not just any food, but the right kind of food. In Japan, we don't focus on big plates of meat or protein drinks. We rely on gentle, nourishing foods that rebuild you from the inside out. Before I tell you about the 7 foods that helped me regain my strength, I want to share with you something else, the way we see aging in Japan. Because how we think about our bodies shapes how we take care of them. And in my country, aging isn't something to fight. It's something to walk with. Let me show you what I mean. How Japanese elders think and eat differently. In the West, people often ask me, "So what's your secret?" And I smile, because in Japan, we don't really have secrets. We just have habits. Quiet, thoughtful, and deeply rooted in everyday life. When I was a child, my grandmother used to say, "Let your food be your caretaker, not your doctor, not your medicine, but something even more personal. something that knows you, walks with you, and gives you strength without asking for anything in return. That's how many elders in Japan think about food. It's not just fuel, it's a way of living. We follow something called shokuiku, a philosophy of food education. It's about being mindful of what you eat, how you eat, and even why you eat. We eat in small portions, but with great variety. A bowl of rice, a little miso soup, a few vegetables, some fermented beans, nothing fancy. But every bite matters. And this way of eating isn't just gentle on the stomach, it's quietly powerful for the muscles. You see, Japanese elders rarely consume heavy meals, full of saturated fats or dense animal proteins. Instead, we rely on plant-based proteins, fermented foods, sea vegetables, and small servings of fish, not just for taste, but because they help us maintain lean strength without overloading the body. There's also the rhythm of eating. We eat 3 times a day, slowly, often in silence, or while talking gently with others. We chew well. We don't rush. And this too matters, because digestion begins in the mouth. The better we digest, the more nutrients our muscles actually receive. In the countryside where I live, you'll still see people in their 80s riding bicycles to the corner store. You'll see them stretching their arms while boiling water for tea. You'll see them sitting on the floor for meals, which means they squat and stand several times a day without even realizing it. This is not exercise, it's daily life, but it keeps the muscles awake. And when it comes to food, we don't rely on eggs. In fact, many elders I know don't eat eggs often at all. Not because they're bad, but because we've found better options. Cheaper, gentler, and often more effective. That's why I say, forget eggs. You don't need them to stay strong. The first food, natto, fermented soybeans. Sticky strength. If I had to choose one food that truly changed my life, it would be natto. I still remember the first time my granddaughter wrinkled her nose at it. "Grandpa, it smells like your old socks," she giggled. And she wasn't wrong. Natto is sticky, stringy, and yes, even a little stinky. But this humble dish, made from fermented soybeans, is one of the quiet champions of muscle health in Japan. Natto is incredibly rich in plant-based protein. But more importantly, it's packed with vitamin K2, which helps your bones hold on to calcium, and nattokinase, a natural enzyme that supports circulation. Stronger bones, better blood flow. These are the things that keep muscles working. I eat natto most mornings with a little rice, chopped scallions, and a drizzle of soy sauce. Some people add mustard or raw egg, but I keep it simple. The texture may be strange at first, but once you get used to it, it becomes comforting, like an old friend. In Japan, natto is a quiet hero, cheap, powerful, and perfect for those of us who want to stay strong without relying on meat or dairy. And now, let's move on to the second food. It's green, slippery, and comes from the sea. The second food, wakame seaweed. Ocean's gentle power. Every time I sip a warm bowl of miso soup, I smile when I see the little green ribbons floating inside. That's wakame, a type of edible seaweed we've used for generations in Japan. It might look simple, but don't be fooled. This plant from the sea holds powerful secrets for aging muscles. Wakame is rich in minerals like magnesium, calcium, and especially iodine, which supports thyroid health. And when your thyroid works well, your metabolism stays steady, and that helps your body preserve muscle. But there's more. Wakame also contains fucoxanthin, a natural compound that may help reduce fat and increase lean tissue. We don't eat wakame in large amounts, just a small handful, rehydrated in hot water, added to soups or cold salads. Its texture is soft, slightly chewy, and it has a mild, ocean-like taste. Light, but grounding. I often tell my American friends, think of wakame as a green multivitamin from the sea, but one that comes with warmth and comfort, not pills and bottles. Now, if wakame is the ocean's gift, the next food is the heart of the countryside. It's something you might already know, though perhaps not the Japanese way. The third food, miso, the fermented foundation. There is almost no day in my life that begins without miso. Even when my hands are cold in winter, I hold the warm bowl close to my chest and breathe in the gentle, earthy scent. Miso, made from fermented soybeans, is more than just a soup base in Japan. It's a tradition, a quiet healer. What makes miso so powerful for older adults is not just the protein, though it has that too. It's the fermentation. Fermented foods help your gut absorb nutrients more efficiently. And when your digestion improves, your muscles receive more of what they need to stay strong. Miso is also rich in B vitamins, zinc, and copper, all of which play a role in energy production and muscle repair. For elders like me, it keeps the body working smoothly, even when we move a little slower. Some people in the West only know miso soup from restaurants, but in Japanese homes, it's made fresh with wakame, tofu, green onions, whatever the season offers. A small bowl before a meal, not after. It's a simple ritual, but it tells your body you are cared for. The fourth food, black soybeans, kuramame, strength in stillness. In Japan, during New Year celebrations, we always serve kuramame, sweet, simmered black soybeans. But for me, these beans are more than just tradition. They're a symbol of strength, calm, and quiet endurance. Black soybeans are rich in plant-based protein, just like regular soybeans, but they also contain anthocyanins, the same antioxidants found in blueberries. These help reduce inflammation, protect muscle tissue from age-related breakdown, and even support healthy blood sugar levels, which is essential for preserving strength after 60. My wife used to prepare kuramame slowly over low heat for hours with a touch of soy sauce and a little sweetness. The beans turned glossy and soft, almost like polished stones. We ate them cold, one bite at a time, with deep appreciation. What I love about kuramame is how gentle they are. You don't need to eat a lot. Just a small handful a few times a week helps give your muscles the building blocks they need, without the heaviness of meat or the intensity of supplements. When life slows down, you learn to value the foods that move gently but deeply through your body. The fifth food, tofu, the cloud that holds you. Tofu has been called many things in the West, bland, boring, even strange. But to those of us who grew up with it, tofu is like a cloud that holds strength in suyid. Made from soybeans, tofu is a complete plant-based protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your muscles need to rebuild. But what makes tofu so special, especially for older adults, is how easy it is to digest. It's soft, gentle on the stomach, and incredibly versatile. When my teeth became weaker, tofu was one of the few foods I could eat without effort, but it still gave me the energy to walk, to garden, to live. In Japan, we eat tofu warm in soups, cold in salads, or lightly pan-fried until golden. It soaks up flavor like a sponge, adapting to any dish. And its richness in iron, calcium, and isoflavones makes it a quiet ally in maintaining both muscle and bone health. There's comfort in tofu, not just in how it feels in the mouth, but in what it offers the body. Support without weight. The sixth food, barley, mugi, the grain of gentle endurance. When I was a child, rice was precious, but on days when the harvest was thin, my mother would mix in barley. We called it mugi gohan. At first, I missed the pure white look of rice. But soon, I came to love the chewy texture, the nutty taste. And now, I understand why she did it. Barley is more than just filler. It's rich in beta-glucan, a special kind of fiber that helps stabilize blood sugar, lower cholesterol, and support digestion. For older adults, this means more consistent energy, better nutrient absorption, and a steadier system overall. But what surprised me most is that barley helps preserve lean muscle mass. It improves insulin sensitivity, which helps your body use protein more efficiently. In other words, it helps your muscles use what you feed them. I still cook mugi gohan regularly, a 1.3 mix of barley to rice steamed together until fluffy. It keeps me full, grounded, and light on my feet. I like to think of it as a quiet fuel, not a spark, but a slow, steady flame. The seventh food, sardines, iwashi, small fish, strong heart. In Japan, we say, eat the small fish with the bones. It's a phrase passed down through generations, and the reason why sardines or iwashi are a staple on many elder tables. These tiny fish may not look like much, but they are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and high-quality protein. For older adults, that means reduced inflammation, stronger bones, and better support for the muscles and joints. What makes sardines especially helpful for people over 60 is how bioavailable their nutrients are. You eat the whole fish, bones, skin, all of it, and with that, your body receives exactly what it needs to rebuild and repair. My favorite way to enjoy sardines is simmered in soy sauce and ginger with a bit of sweet sake. The flavor is rich, but not heavy. We also grill them with a touch of salt, or even mash them into rice balls for a soft, flavorful meal. In a world where big often means better, sardines remind us that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it swims quietly beneath the surface. So now, you've met all 7. But before we move on, let me take you inside one simple, unforgettable dinner that taught me what true nourishment really means. The dinner that changed everything. It was an ordinary evening, the kind where the sky turns gold behind the hills and the cicadas begin to sing. I had just finished a slow walk through the garden when my neighbor, Mrs. Tanaka, 86 years old and still tending her own vegetables, called out to me. "Come eat," she said, with a smile that didn't need words. I sat with her on the floor of her wooden house, legs folded beside hers, as the aroma of warm rice and simmered miso filled the room. On the table were 5 small dishes: tofu with grated ginger, barley rice, miso soup with wakame, a few slices of pickled daikon, and 1 grilled sardine, its skin crisp and glistening. It wasn't a feast. It was a whisper of a meal. But I left that table feeling stronger than I had in weeks. There was no meat, no eggs, no large portions. Just carefully chosen foods, each carrying a purpose, each quietly nourishing something inside me that had begun to fade. After that night, I began to eat like Mrs. Tanaka. Not just the ingredients, but the intention. Eating slowly, sitting low, chewing well, saying "itadakimasu" before the first bite, not out of habit, but from gratitude. That's when I realized muscle isn't only built in the gym, It's built in moments like these, in warm kitchens, in quiet bites, in meals that remind you that you are still part of something alive and whole. So if you're watching this from your home in Florida or Michigan or Arizona, I want you to know, you don't need to fly to Japan. You don't need to speak the language. Just start with one dinner, one bowl of miso, one piece of tofu, one choice that says, I want to feel strong again. How to start eating the Japanese way in America? You might be wondering, this all sounds beautiful, but how do I actually do it? I live in America. I shop at regular stores. I don't even know where to find natto or wakame. I understand, and I promise it's easier than you think. When we talk about eating the Japanese way, we're not talking about perfection. You don't need a bamboo mat or a rice cooker or a Japanese grandmother in the kitchen. You just need to begin with small changes, changes that feel possible, not overwhelming. Start with what you already have. Tofu? Most grocery stores carry it now. Look for plain organic tofu. Slice it into a soup. Pan fry it with olive oil and a pinch of salt. It doesn't need to be complicated. Barley? Try adding it to your next batch of rice. Cook it like oats. Mix it into soup. It brings texture and slow energy to any dish. Canned sardines. They're available almost everywhere. Look for ones packed in water or olive oil without too much sodium. Eat them with crackers or mashed into a salad. Miso paste, wakame, natto. You can find these in Asian grocery stores or even online. If natto feels too unfamiliar, try miso soup first. It's warm, comforting, and easy to love. You don't need to eat all 7 foods at once. Just choose one this week. Make it part of your breakfast or your dinner. Notice how your body feels afterward. Light, steady, maybe even energized. But beyond ingredients, what matters most is how you eat. Eat sitting down. Eat slowly. Chew with care. Eat with gratitude, even if you're eating alone. These are not just habits. They're signals to your body. They say, you're safe now. You're cared for. You can begin to rebuild. And remember, this isn't about weight loss or being perfect. It's about staying upright, staying steady, staying connected to life. In Japan, we eat this way not because we want to live forever, but because we want to live well today, to move with ease, to rise from the floor without pain, to laugh with grandchildren, to feel ourselves again. The daily habits that keep muscles alive. If you walk through a small village in Japan early in the morning, you'll often hear a soft melody playing from a loudspeaker. It's Ragio Taiso, radio calisthenics, a gentle stretching routine done by millions across the country, especially elders. No equipment, no fancy clothes, just movement. Every day. What makes the Japanese lifestyle unique isn't intense exercise. It's intentional motion built into everyday life. We squat down to sit on the floor. We stretch when hanging laundry. We carry small bags from the market instead of relying on delivery. These actions may seem simple, but they wake the muscles, remind them they're still needed. One habit I hold dear is the ankle lift. While brushing my teeth, I rise onto my toes, then slowly lower down. 10 times. It strengthens the calves, improves balance, and keeps me steady on uneven ground. Another is floor sitting. When you sit on the floor, legs crossed, kneeling, or in any comfortable way, you use your core to stay upright. And when you stand up, your body remembers how to lift itself. And of course, breathing. Deep belly breathing, like what's practiced in Qigong or Zen meditation, isn't just calming. It engages your diaphragm, your core, your posture. Every breath becomes a gentle exercise. In Okinawa, where some of the world's oldest people live, elders tend their gardens well into their 90s. They move slowly, but they never stop moving. It's not about burning calories, it's about staying part of life. Here are 3 gentle practices you can try at home. 1. Tai Chi or slow walking. Even 10 minutes a day builds strength and stability. 2. Chair stands. Sit down and stand up from a chair slowly with control. 3. Stretching before bed. Loosen the hips, shoulders and back. Help your body rest and recover. The key is not intensity, it's consistency, little by little, like a stream shaping a stone. And most importantly, do it with kindness toward yourself, not out of fear, but out of love. If you've listened this far, I want to tell you something I wish someone had told me when I was 67, struggling to rise from the floor. You are not too late, not too old, not too weak, not too far gone. Muscles remember. The body remembers. Even after years of decline, healing is still possible. One gentle meal, one steady breath, one small motion at a time. In Japan, we don't chase youth. We walk with age. We honor the lines in our skin, the slowness in our steps, and the quiet power that only comes with time. You deserve to feel strong, not like you were at 30, but strong for who you are now. So maybe you'll try one of the 7 foods, or sit on the floor tonight, or breathe more deeply tomorrow. Whatever you choose, know this: you're already moving towards strength, and I am walking with you. Before you go, I'd love to know, which of the 7 foods will you try first? Or, what's one small habit you'd like to begin this week? Share with me in the comments. I truly love hearing your stories. And don't forget to subscribe. We have more gentle wisdom to share together.